So let's talk about this for a second. The mobile presentation, thinking around, just like always checking how your site looks on mobile, I think is really important. Is this something that, we see a lot of questions on, Terry, or is it more just like, something that, are people checking for this, you think, and then we give them advice, or is it more like users are giving them feedback? How is this? Yeah, how are people encountering this?
I think publishers are, or at least they have been concentrating on their desktop. And we're seeing a huge surge in mobile use. So now,
right,
if they mention it, we've been making a point to mention it to them just to keep their mobile view first in their mind, because so many people are mobile now. So, and there is a difference in how your website displays on desktop and mobile.
Right. I mean, you gotta remember, it's kind of a trade-off with mobile responsive websites. I think, it's for the most part, it's good because you definitely don't want to spend time, updating two websites. But when you have a responsive site, you have to design it always with mobile in mind, and you got to always be testing it. So when we set up a site these days, there's a lot of focus on this. But some of our older sites that have been on WordPress for a couple of years now, and they've made changes since we originally set it up, it's just something that, to be aware of if you're changing the layout and the customize tool or anything. So let's just talk about some of the main points Jack brought up here. Using the customize tool to preview changes. So this is a good one. You could, even before you save changes in the customize tool, hit that mobile preview icon at the bottom of the widgets there and see how it would look on mobile. Because otherwise you got to publish it and then check on your phone on the live site. And that, it obviously isn't ideal. If we can test it before anything is live, that's going to be better. Okay. Efficient widget placement. This is something that comes up a lot, right, Terry?
Yes.
Because the way the widgets are laid out. So it's basically, the thing to keep in mind with this is everything's going to go top to bottom, left to right. It's in terms of those three columns, but sometimes there's widgets that take up two columns or even the full width of the website. So you just have to remember it's within every widget, left to right, top to bottom. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, any other advice on that? Because it's tough to generalize too much because every site uses different widgets. But
yeah, there is a little bit of advice here. If you're using Chrome, there's a little trick in Chrome.
Okay.
So that if you click those three buttons where it says update, and you'll need to update, Matt.
Oh, okay. I need to update.
Go down to more tools.
Oh, wait. I will do that later. More tools. Okay.
And then go down to developer tools.
Right. So this is in a live site, with the changes already saved. You can preview it here, right?
Right. I think you need to go to elements. There you go.
You can actually toggle it on any page.
I think it's console.
Right. But if you look right above, you see how you have your preview. Whoops, you have your preview there.
Yep.
Right above that is a little drop down that says responsive.
Right.
And you'll have options of which type of device
Oh, great. So if you get a user, complaining on a specific device, iPad Pro, that's nice.
Yep.
Oh, cool. Okay.
This too to get a preview of what your website looks like on other devices. If this is, I mean, I know Chrome offers this option. I'm not sure about other browsers.
Right. No, great tip. Yeah, because who has all these devices? No, that's a really good point. So just ideally,
tidbit, iPhone 6, 7, 8 is the most common device.
Oh, okay. Is that according to some survey or something?
Yeah.
Okay. This is cool. So this is simulating a phone. So it has just this little shadow thing instead of an arrow.
You can see how your device or how your desktop would look on a phone when you're, keep in mind when you're arranging your widgets.
Right. I love it. No, that's a great tool built into every Chrome browser. Okay. Now I'll just exit out of there. I wanted to also point out, so this last thing, mobile ads and the placement of mobile ads, that's probably the one piece of advice that if we could give one tip, it would be watching, just keeping in mind where your ads are placed and which widgets they are, always remembering left to right, top to bottom, because you could have a widget that's, or an ad that's placed in a widget at the top of the right column, let's say. If it's at the top of the page, it's on the top of the desktop, yes, but it's arranged in the order of widgets, like actually near the bottom, because it's going to go top, bottom, left, right. So it's going to do this whole column first before it even starts the right column. So if you have a premium advertiser in there, you're going to need to do a little bit of a special arrangement with Ad Rotate Pro and groups. And we can help you with that. But it's just, if you're encountering that where you place an ad where you think it's going to show up on the top and it's halfway down the page, that's what's going on. It just has to do with the layout of the widgets. So we can force it to behave the way you want.
That was a really good example page.
This one is? Yeah.
No, can you go? Yeah. If you open your widgets and look at this in mobile view,
right,
you'll see how the top part and then the ad.
That's exactly right. See, yep. So many good things with this preview tool. So, okay, yeah, I loaded this ad up. You know, let's say I put it here, and let's say I wanted, let's say this ad right here. I want this actually, pretty close to the top. If I go to the preview in mobile, I would see right away that the leaderboard is way too small. So you would probably want to mute that ad on mobile and then run a more square ad on mobile instead, and not on desktop in that position. So you could use an ad group for that. But that's a perfect example of how you might want to modify it. But then you're searching for that red ad, and it actually ended up way down here, almost at the bottom. So you might want to tweak that using the same tools. All right, good one. Anything else on this? I know this comes up a lot. So any other tips on just how to place ads on mobile? I think just that tip of not using the leaderboard ad is smart, because again, with mobile responsive, it's going to readjust the size to make it fit. And that may not be legible.
I think the best tip to give about this is not to be afraid to play around, because until you hit that blue publish button, nothing is going to be saved. So feel free to rearrange. And if you get lost in the woods somewhere, just exit out of the tool without hitting that publish button, and no changes will be saved.
Excellent. Yep. That's a great tip. The only way to learn this thing is to experiment with it. You're right. And nothing is going to auto save or anything like that. So feel free to do that. Okay, cool. So that was today's newsletter post. Just wanted to review that quickly. Before I pass it over to Carrie for her FAQ, I wanted to just point out, last week we had an update to our Matimo software, and unfortunately it was unavoidable. We did lose some data, but the good thing is it was only 25 minutes worth of traffic. So there will be a blackout on your reports during that period, but it's an insignificant amount of time if you're reporting your monthly stats to advertisers or anything like that. Like I said, unfortunately, it wasn't unavoidable with this update. So just in case you noticed that, I think that's probably good for now. We got a bunch of other blog posts out there. We're doing some cool things like, getting into other people's podcasts and trying to take away some, tidbits from these. This is the Editor and Publisher podcast. I'm listening to this every week now. It's produced by Mike Blinder. We talked about this last time. He's a great host, has a lot of good guests. And a couple of weeks ago, he had this really cool hour-long interview with a bunch of people from LMA, The Atlantic, Neiman Journalism Lab. Just some interesting takeaways from that. So kind of a new thing that we're trying with the blog is just these podcast reviews. Okay, I think that's good for me. I don't think we have any other unanswered questions. So, Terry, mind if I turn it back to you and just take us out here with your FAQ for today?
Sure.